One of the most important things that I've done in my life is something called self-inquiry or self-reflection. And it's really, really important to ask yourself the quality questions. I always say the quality of your life is determined by the level of truth you allow yourself to get to while asking quality questions. And so that comes back to this self-inquiry, this self-reflection concept, to be able to get truth with yourself and ask yourself these quality questions. This concept of self-inquiry, of self-reflection, first learnt this from a lady named Byron Katie, and she had a book called Loving What Is. Now inside of this book, it was all about self-inquiry. It was about inquiring about the stories that we tell ourselves, inquiring about the emotions and the feelings and the beliefs that we have about others and ourselves, which becomes the problem, not so much the thing or the person or the situation itself. Right? And so this whole self-inquiry thing came, and it was really, really powerful to understand that the more that we just inquire and question these things, like question our beliefs, question our thoughts, question why we do things. How often do you have someone and they're like, why do you do that? And like, I don't know. If I can give you a little example, there's a story of a lady, and she used to have a roast lamb, and she would always cut the end off the lamb. Her daughter said, you know, Mum, why do you do that? And she said, oh, well, my mum used to always do it. And so her daughter said, well, can we go ask her? Sure. So they went and asked her mum, and she said, I don't know, my mother just used to do it. And so she was still alive, so they went, all right, let's go last. So the three of them went to go ask their grandmother, why do you cut the end off the lamb? And she said, oh, well, you know, back in my day, back when we were younger, ovens were only very small, and so we had to cut the end off to be able to fit it in the oven. So when you think about that story, is she was doing it because she needed to fit it in the oven, but the generations afterwards copied her because they thought that's what had to happen, but they didn't know why they were doing it. We see our parents' beliefs around money, we see our parents' beliefs around health or relationships. Unless your parents were Mr. and Mrs. Buddha, which I don't think they were, then there's going to be some dysfunctional things that have happened in your belief system and your emotional intelligence system. Because of that, we can't change what's happened, but we can change how we move forward, and it's about inquiring that. It's asking, why do we cut the leg or the end off the ham? You know, why do we do that? Just because we saw someone else do that? No, it's really important about self-inquiry and asking ourselves these questions. And so I'm going to give you 5 questions here today. I'm going to give you 5 questions that are really, really powerful in just inquiring a little bit more about yourself. Now, the first one is, what do I want? And not what others want or not what you think you should have, but what do you really want? And it's important to write these down and maybe, you know, set a little bit of time away, no distractions, and just journal down these answers to this. Now, a lot of people, they don't know what they want, but they know what they don't want. If you know what you don't want, then that implies you know what you want. So if you are struggling with this, make a list of all the things you don't want, and then generally it's just the opposite. And those are the things that you want. Simple. When you can get really clear on what you want, it makes things so much easier for you. That's the first question. The second, what am I avoiding? Now this one may take a little bit of courage, I suppose, authenticity, to be able to go into this, a bit of more vulnerability as well, to allow yourself to go into this, because generally we're avoiding the things we don't want to do, we're avoiding the things that are difficult, we're avoiding the things that we think are unsafe or painful, or they're going to hurt us in some way, shape or form. But those are the things where the biggest growth lies. Those things that we are avoiding, that's what happens. Those things that we're avoiding, that's where all of our growth comes. You know, there's a saying where it says the results that you're looking for in your life is in the work that you're avoiding. So think about the things in your life that you're avoiding and do them. You know, it may seem so much, there may be heaps of things at once. Don't do it all at once, just do it one at a time. Just be consistent with it. Success is just being consistent, doing the same things over and over again consistently to get that result. All you have to do is just do those things. But it's really important first to understand what are the things that you're avoiding and keep coming back. You know, this is something you can do once a month. You can come back and spend 10 minutes writing through these questions and answering them and finding what else is there, what else is there, what else is there. You know, there's probably a lot of things that you're avoiding, maybe some conversations, maybe learning some things. Maybe you know that you need to have a conversation with your partner, but you're putting that off. Maybe you know that you need to do some work on yourself, but you're avoiding that. Maybe you know you need to put some attention to your financial situation, but you're avoiding that. Maybe you know that you want to apply for a new job, or that you don't deserve the current working situations, or you have so much more to offer than the current situations, but you're avoiding that because it's comfortable where you are. Who knows what it might be, but we're always avoiding things. When you can get clear on them, you can actually start working through them. So the next question, what past events do you worry about? Do you think about, or do you replay in your mind that are going around and around? And then how do those core stories that come from those events in your past influence your current self? Our mind is just stored in a filing cabinet, right? Just think about, like, every memory, every thought, everything that we had is just in a filing cabinet in our mind. And so we just go into that and pick up the things that we need to look at. They're always there, but those things are always there. You can't get rid of them, they're there, but if we're not aware of them, they're affecting us. And every situation comes with a story. So sit with it and just see what comes to you. Like, sometimes you may even be able to just sit there and just, you know, keep a clear mind and not try to think anything, and just allow something to pop in. It may take a minute, it may take 2 minutes, but just allow something to pop in. Or maybe there's a situation that keeps replaying on your mind. I know in my life now, if there's a situation I've thought about twice and it's not neutral or it's not positive, then I know there's something there to work on, and I go in and heal and release and fix and clear and do whatever I let go of what I need to. So ask yourself, what past events do you worry about? You know, if it's right back to early childhood, if it's, you know, teenagers, if it's a bit older in life, if it was yesterday. You know, just ask yourself, what's the story? And there may be one, if it was yesterday, there may be a similar event that's something that's happened with the same story earlier on in your life. So the next question, if you had all the time and the money in the world, what would you do? If you had all the time in the world and if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? Once you get clear on that, I want to ask this next side question on this is, why are you not working towards that? If you are, awesome. But if you're not, that's where your true passion and potential lies. But you're neglecting it, and anything that you're not doing that's not that, you're going to not be happy and fulfilled in your life. You know, a lot of people, they might want to travel or do something, and it's like, if they're not traveling in their life currently, then they're not going to be happy. You know, how can you live a life that's traveling? How can you live a life that incorporates that? There's so many different ways once you actually start opening up that door and putting your focus and your attention to that. So ask yourself that question, who do you really want to be? That comes back to that. Who do you want to be? Oh, if I didn't have any money issues, I had it all in the world, I had it all the time, didn't have to work, what would I want to do? There's some really powerful questioning inside of that, and self-inquiry, to get real and raw and honest with yourself. Be like, am I really truly living towards that or working towards that? What am I avoiding that's not allowing me to get to that place? The last question is, what have been the 3 most defining moments in your life? And to reflect on them. You know, it could be got a promotion. It could be that your dad said that he loves you. It could be that you made school captain in grade 7. It doesn't matter what it is, but get clear on what the 3 most defining moments of your life were. And then join the dots. You know, it's like, we can't join the dots moving forward. We can only look back and join the dot. And this is the really important part, because when we can join the dots, it's putting us in a direction of us knowing where we're going. But a lot of people don't know where they're going or who they want to be, because they haven't taken time to look back and join the dots. So when you can find those 3 most defining moments and find it again, what are the stories? What are the feelings? What are the emotions? What are the things? And when we say defining, they could be positive or negative. It doesn't really matter. It's just whatever comes to you. And then just reflect on that. And then from that list, you're then starting to go, okay, I've inquired a bit more into these things. Then you can start to change the stories, the beliefs, the emotions, the thoughts, the sabotaging patterns, the behaviors, and everything that's under the surface. You can start to fix and change them once you get clear on them. But you need to inquire within yourself to be able to access those things. So that's a wrap. Let me know how you go with these questions and if any insights or realizations came from that. It's a powerful little process. I do this something similar every single month or every second month, and I just get really clear on who I am
and the things that are going on inside of me. So don't forget to like and subscribe this video if you did. We send these out once a week, every Thursday. If you know someone that might benefit from this as well, send them the link, tell them to like this, and comment your biggest takeaway, what you got from this, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.